Did you see any in NASCAR today? I don't know. I'm just curious about these crazy hillbillies driving around in circles. Just one of many stories to discuss this evening on The Big One.
The Rick Gilmour Show on News Radio WTAM 1100.
Yeah. That's me. That's my name. Don't wear it out. You can wear out the phone number if you want. If you're calling east of the Cuyahoga, that number is 578-1100. West of the Cuyahoga, that number is 578-1100 in the 216 area code. In the Cuyahoga wild card line, oh my God, that would be 888-723-WTAM. Yeah, I was talking with some folks in the complex before the program, and one gentleman mentioned NASCAR to me. I guess Wade Burton won, and I guess the guy's wife said, wasn't he Robin on the old Batman TV series? No, that was Burt Ward. Close, but no Stogie. Burton started from the head of the pack. Now, this is not the only thing I want to talk about, but it's curious. Curious. Burton started from the head of the pack following a late red flag and led for the final 3 laps to earn his 4th Winston Cup victory in 251 starts at the Daytona 500. Marlin claimed the lead when he spun out Jeff Gordon. A pack of cars crashed behind him. Wow. Got some help from Sterling Marlin. Marlin had the lead, but Marlin got out of his car during the stoppage and began to pull the bent sheet metal away from his tire. NASCAR penalized him for trying to repair the damage and sent him to the back of the pack with no dessert. Sent him to bed without any dinner. Burton's victory is the first Daytona 500 victory for Dodge since 1974. Has Dodge built a good car since 1974? Actually, 1974 Dodges weren't very good cars either. Elliott Sadler finished second ahead of Jeff Bodine, and they got to put the pronunciation in here so that you know how to say Bodine. Or Bodine. I always thought it was Bodine. Like Jethro Bodine. Haven't you ever watched the Beverly Hillbillies? Well, the Hillbillies pronounce it Bodine, not Bodine. Maybe Jeff Bodine, like iodine or iodine. Kurt Busch, ahead of Kurt Busch and defending champion Michael Waltrip. And I swear to you, tell me if I'm nuts. There's only one reason why people go to watch NASCAR races, and it's for crashes. And these people are idiots. Bunch of hillbillies, bunch of hilljacks driving around in circles at 180, 190 mile an hour. And you got so much... Did I say Wade? Somebody put Ward up here.
I don't know what the caller said.
Well, okay. Well, let me check my copy then, because my copy says Wade. I guess it is Ward. I don't know. Whatever. I pull these stories about NASCAR, and I keep thinking it doesn't matter whether it's Wade or Ward or Woody or whatever. You get a bunch of hillbillies driving around in circles at 180, 190 mile an hour. And there's only one reason why. It's got to be boring as hell. I've been to a few races. I prefer drag racing. I mean, at least it's over with. You watch it 4 seconds or 8 seconds or 10 seconds or 12 seconds or 20 seconds, or if it's bracket racing, a half an hour, depending on how slow your car is. At least it's over. You watch, okay, let's get on to the next race. Let's get on to the next one, These NASCAR races, people going around in circles. That's all it is. People going around in circles. Oops. Wahoo! Now we got some racing going on. And these people seem to have, all they do is drive around in circles. Bunch of hillbillies going around in circles going too fast. How and why do they end up with hero cult status? The only thing better would be if they had big-time wrestlers squeezed into these little cars driving around in circles like a bunch of Shriners hitting the wall. I don't think the big-time wrestlers would fit. Get the WWF behind the wheel. Smackdown on the roadway. The Rock says crash. Why in the hell else would you even go to a NASCAR race? Bunch of hillbillies going around in circles. People were mad at me when Dale Earnhardt Sr. died because I called Giant Eagle out in Westlake and talked to the bakery, and they had a Dale Earnhardt cake. And I said I wanted to buy it and throw it off the balcony of the building. Smash it. Smash it. I said I didn't feel sorry for a guy, the Intimidator, whatever he was called, that would flip people off and do the pit maneuver on them like the cops do on that TV show. But they're doing 180, and he'd spin people out, and they'd run into the wall. Well, he ran into the wall. Killed him dead. Now, I think the fix is in. I think this year, Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s memory will be brought to the forefront by Dale Earnhardt Jr., and he'll win more races and maybe crash into the wall, but he probably won't break his neck or whatever happened to the old man. But it's like hero status, cult status these people have. I once asked my program director, I said, "Hey, Ray." He said, "Yes, Rick." I said, "How come we don't have NASCAR racing up here? How come NASCAR racing's not big?" I mean, you got NASCAR racing all over the place. We even got the Michigan 500, don't we? And Ray said,
"I need you, Rick."
And I said, "Wait a minute. We're talking about racing."
"Do me a favor, because I need you."
"Oh, okay. The sweetest day's not for a while. What do you need, a date to the prom?" I don't know. It sounds like you need me, like need me.
"I need you, Rick."
Oh, my goodness me. Anyway, he said, "Well, we got enough sports up here." He said, "We got basketball and football and baseball and everything else, and I guess we don't need NASCAR." I just thought I'd put forth the notion, see what you thought. If you've never been to a NASCAR race, or if you've never been to one, would you go to one if there wasn't going to be any crashing going on? And if you have been to one, would you go to one if they didn't serve beer? Although I suppose there's folks that wouldn't go to Indians or Browns games either if they didn't serve beer. I still think they're going to have plastic bottles at Brown Stadium. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they already made that decision and I'm out of the loop. It seems to me that if you don't have beer at a lot of these events, nobody'd even show up. I mean, it's not like people go to a baseball game to watch people get hurt, do they? No, that's the last thing you want to have happen is have somebody get hurt. You don't go to a football game to see somebody get hurt and carried off the field, do you? But people go to NASCAR races to wait for the crashes. Same thing with the Indianapolis 500. And boring as hell. If you don't have beer, or there's not a crash, then why would you even bother going? And why the hero? It's like modern-day gladiators or something. Let's throw some Christians to the lions. Speaking of the lions, all the lions are lit. Because it's just boring. And then they have Viagra cars, and they had an Oreo Ritz cracker car, and they have cigarette cars, too. And they have beer cars. Just big money. My father's got a collection of paperwork, goes way back when. He's got a window sticker says NASCAR 1950. You should see the programs. They're printed up like church bulletins. Looked like they were run off on a mimeograph machine, says Junior Johnson, car number 5 or whatever. Then I guess the people printing them up on them, you remember that AB Dick or whatever it was, the machine. They cranked the thing by hand and spit out a bunch of programs and then take them and smell them real good. Got to sniff that fresh ink before it dries. Then, wee doggies! Go to the races and see if somebody runs into the wall. Because if there ain't no crashing, it ain't no fun. Am I right? Or am I wrong? Tim, in the center of the universe, that's west of the Cuyahoga, Parmer, Ohio, you're on the air.
Greetings from the center of the universe, home of pink flamingos, chrome balls, and really fat chicks whose thighs touch.
Ooh, they rub together.
Yeah, and they wear away all the jeans on the inside. Have you ever noticed that? And they got to patch them?
Yep. They got to put patches in there. And they go to NASCAR races and try and wait for somebody to crash.
There you go. You know, I was down in the pit of a NASCAR race once down in Alabama. I'm not going to say where, but it was a place called Talladega.
Oh, yeah, okay, Talladega, sure.
You know, small town. I think that's the town's only source of income, and I think there's a federal prison down there.
Oh, okay.
And that's pretty much about the town. I think it's got maybe 1,000 people in it or something like that. But anyhow, I was walking through the pits of the Talladega Raceway, and
well, that's the pits.
Oh, you should have been there, Rick. You should have seen and smelled. Oh my!
Smelled? Did they smell?
Let me tell you, it was as bad as all those dead people down in Florida. There, you know, where
Georgia.
That guy down there.
Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia, was it?
Noble, Georgia. All that. Yeah, I'll get to them later. 97 bodies or more that they didn't cremate. Doggies. We should call Marianne, the paranormal investigator, and ask them if their souls are roaming the earth. But,
hey, that's a great idea.
But down there in Georgia where people put their refrigerator on their front porch.
Well, you know what the cars down in Georgia and formal dinner parties have in common?
No, what's that?
Neither one have plates.
Yeah, that's how we knew the toothbrush was invented in Kentucky, don't you know?
Oh, really?
Any place else, it would have been the teeth brush.
There you go. Well, you know what you call a 12-year-old who's arrested for prostitution in West Virginia?
No.
Graduate of finishing school.
Wow. I heard in West Virginia that the governor's mansion burned all the way down to the axles.
Oh, mercy me. He's homeless in the trailer park.
I was down there. Is the capital of Kentucky pronounced Louisville or Louisville?
Now, that's a funny thing you asked that, because I always thought it was pronounced Cincinnati, Ohio.
Actually, it's Frankfurt.
Oh, okay.
But I bumped into a little girl in Frankfurt with one shoe. I said, little girl, you lost a shoe. She said, no, I found one.
Oh, my God.
See, that's what them hillbillies, and then they want to go on Sunday and watch people run around and go around in circles until they hit the wall.
Oh, my, that sounds like a great way to spend a Sunday afternoon.
It's a sport for hillbillies.
It's a sport for tobacco-chewing inbreds.
Well, you know what NASCAR stands for, don't you?
What's that?
Non-athletic sport centered around rednecks.
I like that.
At least that's what I was told. I mean, God bless them, but then why the cult status? Why the hero status?
I have no idea. I mean, there's nothing athletic about that, quote, sport, unquote.
Well, I guess driving a car
Sit
around.
on your fanny and you go around in a circle for what? 4, 5, 6 hours, however long it takes.
I've done that in Lexington, Ohio, trying to find the McDonald's.
I've done that on the freeway, just trying to find a rest stop.
Yeah, go round and round and round, and no one looks up to us and thinks we're athletes, do
There you go.
I don't know. I can't figure it out, Tim.
What does it all mean, Rick?
Well, we'll find out before the end of the program, won't we?
I sure hope we do.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. What does it all mean? I can tell you the meaning of some things. Tomorrow morning on the big one, Casey Coleman asked for the day off. Will he be in Boston? Do you know? Is he signing a deal to become the voice of the Patriots? Will we be losing Casey Coleman? Well, if you listen tomorrow morning, you can get the latest on Casey's future here on the big one. Wills and Coleman, at least for now, in the morning. It's your information epicenter, weekdays 5 until 9 on News Radio, WTAM 1100. Gee, it could be Wills and Schwabe, or Wills and Kelly in the morning, or Wills and somebody else in the morning. You never know. Keep it right here. You'll find out. Your triple Doppler forecast from TV3 Chief... check that. Not Chief Meteorologist. Just meteorologist, but None the less important. Eileen McShay. Tonight, cold mid-teens. Bring in the brass monkey. Colder than a witch's left one. Tomorrow, sunny. High near 40. Currently 24 with the wind chill feels like 16. On a side topic, I digress. And why not? I can digress. I come down here to beautiful Independence, the cultural void it is, and get off the highway, and I notice that gasoline at the BP is $1.09. Well, I'm getting a little low on fuel. I need more fuel. To all my friends. I need more fuel. If you ever saw Barfly, you'd know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, go out and rent it. No, I don't work for Blockbuster or anybody else. But no, I get down to the drug mart, stop there and figure I'll pull out and get some gasoline there at the Shell station right next door. And I get gas, and I'm pumping the gas there, and I'm not paying any attention to anything until it fills up. And I look, geez, I took how much gas? I look down, it's $1.19. I'm a quarter mile away from $1.09. But not being an observant shopper, your old pal Gilly spent too much money for gasoline. Somebody wants to know what's wrong with me? Why would they want to know what's wrong with me? Because I'm talking about NASCAR? Most people want to know where I am.
Where's Rick Gilmour?
I'm right here. Oh, he wants to know why I'm so upset about NASCAR? Well, you know me. Somebody said to me, actually, it's not my time of the month. Maybe it's synchronicity. It's my wife's time of the month. Somebody said to me, Rick, you're always upset about something, but it's an entertaining kind of upset. As long as the show isn't a train wreck, I suppose it's okay as long as I'm upset. It might be a car crash. Is there any reason on God's green earth that anybody goes to a NASCAR race unless they want to see a crash? Or drink beer? Nothing wrong with drinking beer. Ah, Jeff, you're on the air.
How you doing, Rick?
All right. Are you east or west of the Cuyahoga?
Right now I'm east.
Okay, because you called on the west of the Cuyahoga line, but we'll let it slide.
I appreciate that.
All right.
Just wanted to call and say I like your show a lot.
Oh, I thought you were going to yell at me for making fun of NASCAR crashes.
Nah.
A bunch of hillbillies.
Exactly. But anyway, just appreciate your show. Used to listen to Trevisano a lot, but I can't even deal with him anymore. He's gotten to be a little bit out of hand lately. But you're doing a fine job. I just wanted to say keep it up.
He's out of hand?
Yeah.
What part's out of hand?
Just his whole attitude lately, as far as I can see, he's just basically gets a little too carried away. He gets off on a subject, and he just keeps on going, like, his whole thing with the tobacco industry and all that.
I was going to say, maybe he's just upset because he's low on nicotine.
Well, it's something like that, but I don't know. I don't even enjoy his show anymore. I don't even listen to him. I change the channel and put something else on.
Try him again, all right?
All right.
Try yeah. One. All right, yeah. Try him again. Everybody has days when you like what they say or you don't like what they say. Mike's a good guy. Maybe he's just upset. Have you ever tried to quit smoking? Makes you cranky and irritable. Makes you gain weight. We don't want Mike to gain any more weight, do we? He might reach critical mass and turn to heat energy and explode. And then what will we do in the afternoon? No, not that. Wild card line, you're on the air.
Hey, Rick, Dick from Dayton. I just wanted to say hi, buddy.
Oh, what a surprise. Hey, Dick, how are you?
Okay, I've been out in that cold today.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's colder than a witch's left one.
Yeah, hey, guess what, buddy?
What's that?
Oh, I just wanted to tell you, we must be doing pretty good. They're going to open a new store in Troy, Ohio. How about that?
Troy?
Yeah, the gateway to the south.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah. Did you get my card finally?
Yeah, I did get your card. I appreciate that, but your penmanship's not much better than it was the last time. You put more things in one card.
But, hey, listen, you got to be a fan, don't you, buddy?
Well, you're the only card I ever get, except for Nina, who used to send me cards.
Oh, you got to follow at least. Hey, I heard you say something about Casey. I was listening to you.
Casey Coleman, he might be signing a deal to become the voice of the Pats.
Oh, my God.
He could be going to New England. We don't know.
Oh, I hope not.
Well, we'll find if you tune in the morning and you listen to Bill.
Yeah, I listen to it.
Yeah, because Casey's got the day off tomorrow, so he might be over there.
Well, who would take his place on the sideline? Do they know yet during the Brown season?
Gee, I don't know.
I don't know. Well, his dad. I bought his dad's book. Is great. Ken Coleman, Art of Broadcasting on the Air. I always liked his dad.
No, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's a big mystery. You'll have to tune in to Wills and Coleman for now.
I try to call them, Rick, and you know what?
They don't take many calls.
They don't take me. And you know who else I can never get?
Who's that?
Triv. I'm lucky to get him, Triv.
Well, he's busy. See, Mike Trevisano has all the lines lit all the time.
Does he?
Yeah, it's pretty busy.
Yeah, how's my buddy Rob? He's quite a...
Rob's better half stuff is actually in the room. Actually, they're not married, but they could just as well be. They're living in sin. They're living in sin. They could just as well be married.
Hey, Rick, guess what, buddy?
What?
You got to come see me down at, remember I told you in the car? You got to come.
Oh, come see you play the mandolin.
Yeah. You got to come down to Lowe's, and I'll take you around, show you around the whole town, buddy.
Okay. Well, because you don't have to really show me around the store, because it probably looks just like my local store.
Yeah.
But I don't know anybody that works at the local store that plays the mandolin.
No. Hey, Gilly, this is great. I enjoy. I'm so happy to know that TAM. I got a nice letter from. Ray Davis,
Oh, did you really?
Yes, I did about a year ago, and I like to write cards to you guys because I listen to the Indians and the Cavaliers and the Browns games all the time. It's nice that you guys carry that,
Did
Ray say...
Do me a favor, because I need you.
To me?
Huh?
He said, I'm glad you have a pleasant experience with our station, Dick. God bless you. Thank you.
Well, now, that was awfully nice of him, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Now, if he'd just hand out compliments to the air talent like that...
Yeah.
Oh, Dick, I got to run.
Hey, Rick.
Yeah.
It's really nice to talk to you, buddy.
You too, Dick.
Okay, I'll keep them letters coming.
You keep them cards and letters coming, all right?
God bless you.
Yep, God bless you. Right back. 6200 Oak Tree Boulevard, Independence, Ohio, 44131. Now, these important words, then coverage of what in the world's happening, and more of your phone calls here on the big one. The only reason it's wahoo! It's Hillbilly Night on the big one. What's my name?
Rick Gilmour.
I have never cheated on a woman ever. Ever. Ever.
On News Radio WTAM 1100.
What an obnoxious son of a bitch. Unbelievable. Who is that guy? Oh, that's me. Screaming and yelling and making noise and taking your phone calls. 578-1100 if you're east of the Cuyahoga. If you're west of the Cuyahoga, that number is 578-1100. If you're in the Cuyahoga, that toll-free wild card line is 888-723-WTAM. I had something in my paperwork about hillbillies and rednecks, and I don't know where it went. That's all right. Kevin, you're on the air.
Hello.
Howdy.
Hey, I want to talk about your buddy Casey.
Casey Coleman.
Yeah. Hey, Casey was starting out. He wasn't on the job too long. And Ohio State University's basketball team did not get invited to the NCAA tournament. They went to the NIT. Now, they felt cheated, but, hey, it happens. Anyway, they go to the NIT and they win. Casey Coleman's comment on the night that they won was, well, if you heard a noise from overhead, it was probably the Ohio State basketball team screaming, "We're number 65."
Yeah.
At that point, I couldn't believe how classless he was. He couldn't enjoy what victory they got out of the snubbing of being able to go to the NCAA tournament. They go out and win the NIT, and that's the best he can do.
No, I thought it was probably just trying to be amusing, sir. Trying to a little levity in the broadcast.
I'm sure he was, but you got to acknowledge that the kids actually won something. I just thought that was pretty classless.
So you're hoping Casey goes away.
Oh, yeah, I really am. And frankly, I'm not surprised because, give Bill Belichick his due. I mean, he took that team, well beyond where it should have gone. He's proven that he's an excellent coach. But he learned on the job in Cleveland, and when he was in Cleveland as a coach, he really stunk as a head coach.
Bill Belichick,
but the whole time he was here, Casey Coleman had his head so far up Belichick's butt, I was surprised he couldn't see Boston in his future from there.
All right, well, there you go. Oh, well. Can't please everybody, can you now? You could please your girlfriend. Did you hear this story? This was a good one.
Here's a Valentine's story you don't hear every day. A New York man gave his ex-girlfriend the finger. Literally. Yes, he sent her his severed middle finger. And then he called her and asked her how she liked it. Cops arrested Forrest Simon with his left hand wrapped in a fresh bandage and took him for a psychiatric evaluation. Cops say he faces charges of aggravated harassment.
That's Ted Klopp in the newsroom. Idiots. World full of idiots. It's no surprise that people would actually just spend their afternoon slobbering down beer and waiting for somebody to wreck. Uh-oh. They're starting to call from down south, aren't they? South of the Mason-Dixon. Getting things heated up down there. Put out the sterno. Rick Gilmour's on. Just put the radio down and cook your burgers on top of it. I'm sure you'll be unhappy with me just like you were the last time I talked about NASCAR. We even have a NASCAR screensaver in the studio. A UPS NASCAR racer there. Paul Ratto put it in there. Paul Ratto was all upset the last time. I said, you don't know anything important in the world, do you? But who's number 51? He knew. Who's number 48? He knew. Who's number 6? He knew. From memory, and I was checking a list. And I said, name one person that died on the USS Cole. Because that was right around the same time that Dale Earnhardt Sr. ran into the wall. And he looked at me with that puzzled doggy look. You know, when you look at your dog and you go, boop, boop, and the dog sort of tilts its head and looks at you like, what's wrong with Daddy? And he looked at me with a puzzled doggy look, and he had no answer. And I said, it proves my point entirely. You don't know anything about anything that's really important. But you know all about NASCAR. Wild card line, you're on the air.
Hey.
Howdy.
Ricky?
Yeah, where are you calling from?
Wellington.
Can you turn down your radio?
Yep.
Okay. Now go right ahead, sir.
How you doing?
Oh, just splendiferous.
Did you watch a good racing today?
No, I actually didn't watch the race.
No, not at all, huh?
No, I couldn't care less.
Oh, jeez.
Just wanted to talk about it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I didn't think I needed to watch it today. I was...
Yep. Yeah, that's what it was.
That's pretty, and that's the only reason why people watch, isn't it?
Yeah, that was the greatest.
And because you saw that big, how many cars were in that pileup?
18.
18 cars spinning around with all
the
that.
Big one, they call it.
The forward momentum, and they keep sliding forward even though they're going around in circles.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's why you watched, right?
Right.
Because it was the best.
It was the best.
And if they didn't have any wrecks, you would have been bored.
Right.
Yep, you would have sat, but you would have got drunk anyway.
Well, probably, yeah.
Yeah,
I did, you know.
There you go. Hey, nothing, now see, nothing wrong with sitting in your living room and popping back a few cold ones.
That's right, because I can't crash my couch, you know.
Well, there you go.
And the cops can't pull me over on my couch.
That's right. They can't write you a ticket for sitting on your couch and wetting yourself.
Right.
Or anything else. So you're okay.
Right.
All right. Anything else?
My daughter wants to say hi. She's a big fan of yours. She's 9, and she's just ecstatic. Will you say hi to her?
Sure.
Hi.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, you listen to me all the time?
Yeah.
Shouldn't you be in bed by now?
No, because tomorrow we don't have school.
Oh, tomorrow's President's Day.
Yeah.
How could I be so dumb? See, when you're not in school, you don't pay any attention to that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, stay in school and stay off drugs and then watch NASCAR with Daddy and on TV and don't drink any beer until you're 18.
Okay.
Or 21 or whatever it is. All right?
Okay.
Okay, sweetheart. Hey, what's your name?
Jennifer.
Jennifer, nice to talk to you.
Okay.
Is your dad done now, or does he want to blather some more?
You want to talk to him some more?
You want to talk
He wants to talk to you some more. Remember, Jennifer Barnhart.
Okay, Jennifer, nice meeting you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Gilly?
Yeah.
Hey, man, we love you. We're always listening to you.
All right.
You take care, bud.
All right, you too. Thanks.
Okay.
All right, yep, there you go. That was simply adorable, wasn't it? A little one on the big one. Something else from some old guy named Dave Marcus, 60 years old. He blew an engine. Really? Never quite seen that happen, have I? No, because it's always under a hood. Piece of paper got stuck to the front end of his Chevrolet early in the race, and the engine overheated, and he had to drop out. He couldn't keep up. And the paper said, "Hey, you big dum-dum, you're too old to be going around in circles and hitting the wall." And he would have noticed it 30 years ago when he was half his age, if he could only read. Poor guy. What are you going to do? Aaron, south of the Cuyahoga, you're on the air.
Yeah, man, what's going on?
Hey, just doing a program.
All right, all right.
What's your favorite beer?
My favorite beer?
Yeah.
I like a good old Bass Ale myself.
Well, hey, now you got pretty good taste in beer there, son.
Hey, man, no doubt.
Yeah, I drink Labatt Blue myself, but that's just, I'm north of the Mason-Dixon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back a few years ago, I used to live up there in Ohio and did the old World Tour of beer there at the Winking Lizard.
Oh, really?
So I learned to appreciate a fine hopping barley mix. Can you dig it?
Yeah, and some people have never seen a Winking Lizard.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, you did. So they gave you a coat, too, didn't they? Don't you get a coat when you do the tour of beer?
Yes, sir. I still wear mine around.
Do they have Winking Lizards down there south of the Mason-Dixon?
No, I wish they did, though. I wish they did.
But we don't have a big...
I miss about Ohio, man. You had good bars, good atmosphere. Down here in Atlanta, everything's... well, it's a newer city, so a lot of things are brand new. So you go to a quote-unquote bar, and it's more like going to a hospital cafeteria.
But you have the Big Chicken.
Yes, we have the Big Chicken there in Marietta.
And you have Waffle Houses.
We have a crap load of Waffle Houses.
On every corner, there's a pant load of Waffle Houses. The potato's supposed to go in front. We don't have any Waffle Houses up here.
That's right, man.
Well, maybe I thought you were going to yell at me.
Well, I just think, man, you're kind of off base, and I think that, you know, with a little trip up there to Michigan maybe this year, you need to go up there and maybe take old Fat Trevisano up with you. Go up there and watch a race in person, and I bet you guys you'll repent of your wicked ways, and you'll become converts and become born again.
How about if I ride him piggyback?
That would be interesting. I'd like to see that.
That'd save us on some gas money. Well, I don't know, though, because we have to fuel the triv. Along the way, well, we'd have to stop off at the IHOP or whatever we got along the highway up here.
There you go.
Boy, I'm going to cut you loose there, Darth Vader. Couldn't I? What happened? All of a sudden, I think he was using a scrambler. All of a sudden, the government picked up the phone. It was Area 52. It's sort of near Area 51, but actually it's in Georgia. Right next to the Waffle House and... right underneath, but not directly inside, the Big Chicken. Did you hear Joe Tate talked about me? Because remember, they get chalupas there at the Gund Arena when the Cavs score 100 points.
The chalupa lovers are having absolute orgasmic tendencies here in the arena. And at our flagship station, Rick Gilmour should be apprised that we're getting those tendencies again.
Yeah, well, orgasmic tendencies. But not tonight, because they're not playing tonight, are they? Now, we were talking about the other sport of the day, NASCAR. Whee! And having just so much fun doing it, too, weren't we? Well, maybe. Larry, you're on the air.
Hey, Gilly.
Howdy.
Hey, you know who I am, the Bottle Man.
Yeah. Hey, Larry, you want to do the weather with me?
Yeah.
Okay, your triple Doppler forecast from TV3 meteorologist. Do you know who she is?
No, I don't.
Eileen McShay.
Oh.
Tonight it's going to be cold in the mid-teens.
Ooh.
Tomorrow, sunny and a high near 40. Let's look ahead, shall we, Larry?
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Monday night, mid-20s. Tuesday, low 50s.
All right.
Yeah, currently 24 with the wind chill. Feels like 16 out there.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I'm going to have to check the cyber vote later at WTAM.com. They got a question there. Who's the finest U.S. president in history? Because, you know, it's President's Day tomorrow for those of you who live in Rio Linda. So, in case you don't know.
I would say my vote would be Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, well, it was funny because I remember hearing the cyber vote, and didn't they have did they list everybody's stuff? They just listed Richard Washington, Lincoln, Nixon, Reagan, and Clinton? Ronald Reagan's got 45%. Abe Lincoln's got 29%. How come they didn't put FDR up there? Or how come they didn't put Dwight David Eisenhower or Lyndon Baines Johnson? Or how come they didn't put Millard Fillmore up there?
Good question.
Or James K. Polk? Or what about Ulysses S. Grant, who a perpetual drunk, who Lincoln said, if that's the way my generals are going to perform, if that's the way he performs when he's been drinking, I should get whiskey for all my generals.
You got it.
And then pee in the bottle when you're done and throw it on the field.
That's it.
Only when there's a bad call.
Hey,
If you were at a NASCAR race and you didn't like the way things went, would you pee in a bottle and whip it?
no.
No.
First of all, Gilly, I'm a big NASCAR fan.
Oh, are you really?
And you got to go to a race to really enjoy it. I mean, I know what you're saying. Yeah, people go there and watch the big crash. Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. But the thing is, man, you got to, I'm a big Dale Earnhardt fan. Super dude. I mean, the guy was an icon. He was a nobody. Nobody handed him nothing, and he built him who he was from nothing. Nobody gave him nothing.
Okay, but now, see, that was the question I was asking as well, was what made him a hero? What makes all these guys, people look up at Jeff Gordon or whoever it is?
Gordon and them guys, they're a flash in the pan. Just like Ward Burton won a race today. It was a boring race. I mean, because Ward Burton, he's good, he hasn't won, but he ain't a nobody. Now, if Dale Earnhardt Jr. would have won that race, I mean, you'd have seen the people. They would have held the coverage there longer and everything.
But what about Richard Petty?
Petty, he was good in his time.
Okay, because at least he used to win with Dodges. Apparently, Dodge hasn't won since when? 74?
Yeah.
Good Lord. Well, I know they probably weren't in it there for a while, but I don't know what happened to them.
It's not everybody's cup of tea. It's a good old boy sport, just like you ain't gonna see no blacks in it.
Whoa, no, wait a minute. Wasn't there, what was his name?
Willie T. Ribbs.
Willie T. Ribbs, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay, where's he at?
Well, now, wait a minute. What about that? Wasn't there that Richard Pryor movie about that true life NASCAR guy, whatever the name of the movie was, Greased Lightning or whatever?
I don't know about that.
That was about some guy who was a real famous NASCAR guy way back when in the 50s, and he flipped over his car and died. They called him the Light Touch or whatever. He used to drive around with one finger on the steering wheel.
If you ain't been to the South, have you?
Yeah, I've been to the South. Well, I mean, I didn't spend a lot of time. I took Firebird, and we did about 95 miles an hour from here to Fort Lauderdale, and that was about it. Then we turned around and came back. Actually, the only place I liked along the way was North Carolina.
North Carolina's great. I'm going to go down there again.
South Carolina, we stopped at a rest stop, and I was peeing on a water bug. And I said to my wife, well, she wasn't my wife yet, but yes, she was my wife, as a matter of fact. And I said, there was a thing in there that looked like a water bug. It was big, and I described it. She said, that was a cockroach. And I said, really? I said, well, it seems to me like I'm going to hold it the next time all the way from South Carolina until I get to... I'd rather be peeing next to the car on the side of the highway than go to one of their rest stops.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it was terrible. But North Carolina, you could go in the middle of the night. They had a guard sitting there to make sure there was no funny business, no weirdness going on.
A year ago, I listened to your show the night that Earnhardt got killed.
Right.
And I was bummed. I was depressed. And I listened to your show, and your show cheered me up. And I was amazed that, you didn't tear into him. I mean, you were pretty cool about him.
No, I didn't tear into him. I was tore into NASCAR in general. I said it's kind of silly. A bunch of cars going around in circles, people just waiting for them to crash. If it weren't for beer, the sport wouldn't exist.
Well, that's right. I mean, you go to a racetrack, man, you can take your beer in there, so long as it's in cans.
There you go.
You can take all the booze in there you want.
And you don't want to pee in a can.
No, you want to get cut.
I know. You don't want to get cut. Larry, I got to run.
Okay, Gilly.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Interesting pearl of wisdom that has nothing to do with anything, emailed to me at gilly@WTAM.com. A study in Scotland showed that the kind of male face a woman finds attractive can differ depending on whether the woman is in her menstrual cycle. For instance, if she's ovulating, she's attracted to men with rugged masculine features. Whereas if she's premenstrual, she's more likely to be attracted to a man with scissors shoved into his temple. Wow. How's about that? That's almost as bad as a NASCAR race. Now, these important words, coverage of what in the world's happening, and then more of your phone calls here on The Big One. Just talking about NASCAR a little bit here. Is it Wade Burton or Ward Burton? The AP Wire says Wade Burton, and callers called and said, no, it's Ward Burton. I thought ESPN says Ward Burton. Oh, I guess it is Ward Burton then. How are we supposed to know? Wade, Ward, can't tell anything apart without a program. In NASCAR, I'm even surprised they have a track up in Michigan. Because we got all kinds of sports up here. What kind of sports do they got down south? They got NASCAR, college football, how far you can spit things, and poking toads. Don't they have toad sticking? They got that. They got cow tipping. There's another sport. Ed, in your truck, you're on the air.
Hey, Gilly, how you doing?
All right. What kind of truck is it? A Chevrolet?
No, that'd be an International.
Oh, really? Oh, you're in a big rig. You're not in a pickup.
Correct.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. Well, I just called you. I want to let you know I quit drinking beer after Thanksgiving. So the reason for going to NASCAR and drinking beer, that don't apply to me. But I seriously, I enjoy watching the race. I just bought an airline ticket to fly down next weekend and fly back on Monday because my dad was unable to go.
Now, would you enjoy the race if there were no crashes?
Well, yeah, and be honest with you, I like watching the wrecks too, but that's not the only reason I go.
Okay, it just seemed to me that in a lot of cases, I think people just go because they want to see. They don't want to see somebody die.
Correct. Yeah. Well, the wrecks are fun to watch. Everybody's got to, say that. Everybody will say that. It adds a little bit to the race, I guess. But I watch to see who's going to win, who's going to finish. Just like you're going to watch the Browns and the Steelers to see, the Browns win, or it's a long time to sit, I'll tell you that. I've gone to many before. I usually go to Bristol, Tennessee, and I go to Rockingham, North Carolina, which is next week. That's where I'm going. But it's a long time to sit. And when they wreck, you can get up and stretch and, things like that.
But you're not drinking beer?
No, not no more. I quit after Thanksgiving from the Browns and Cincinnati game. I had a, rather bad experience with too much beer at one place, and, I said to hell with it.
And how long had you been drinking beer?
Legally for about 5 years.
Oh, okay. I got you. Because I've been drinking beer illegally and legally for any number of years.
Oh, yeah.
Probably 25 years.
Right.
I've probably had enough beer for, I don't know, 4 or 5 people.
There you go.
But I still like it.
Oh, I agree. And see, I quit drinking beer because I can't control it. But I still enjoy whiskey. Now, I know that that's like an oxymoron or something. But
well, that's interesting. So you do still drink?
Yeah.
Okay, you just had I had a bad experience on that ride once. I threw up. Blech.
Well, correct, and then you're not going to do it,
I've had that bad experience with gin.
There you go.
You wake up the next day and you're belching and you can taste gin. And I said, that's awful. And I blamed it on gin and never drank it again.
There you go. And that's kind of how tequila is, too, so I don't drink that anymore either.
Tequila's the worst.
I still really love beer. But I have a little girl that asked me, don't let the lady at the bar give my daddy any more beer. So I said, no problem. I won't drink no more beer,
Yeah, they tell me at the bar I'm not allowed to have any more vodka.
Yeah.
I become witty and acerbic, which it means I become abusive and loud.
I gotcha.
But in my mind, I'm witty and acerbic.
There you go. And see, I just get mellow and talkative.
Well, I'm not allowed to drink vodka without my attorney present.
I see.
And the last time I drank vodka, I actually ended up leaning over on my attorney's shoulder because I was falling off my bar stool. And my attorney advised me to not drink vodka anymore.
That was probably a wise, advice there.
Yeah, well, stay away from the stuff that see, I think the see-throughs are better for you. You'd get less of a hangover from vodka or gin than you would from whiskey.
Correct. Very true.
You don't drink your whiskey with Coca-Cola or anything awful, do you?
No.
Okay, I know people drink bourbon and Coke, and I think, oh, my God, all that sugar, you'd think you'd get a big head the next day.
Yeah, I tell you, whiskey's pretty good just straight,
What particular type of whiskey do you drink?
I drink Jack Daniels.
Okay.
For the most part, and then, if I want to indulge myself in something imported, I drink Crown Royal.
Oh, okay. Now, if I'm drinking whiskey, it'd be Jameson.
Okay. Well, that's good stuff, too.
Irish whiskey, or maybe some Wild Turkey 101.
Yeah, Wild Turkey is awesome.
That stuff will kick your ass.
I can't stomach that Wild Turkey all the time.
No, I get you. Mix it up a little bit there.
Yeah, you have to.
Now, so can you drink whiskey when you go to a NASCAR race?
I've never tried.
Oh, all right. Well, maybe it'll make your fanny numb, and that way it won't seem like it's such a long time to sit in the seats.
That may be true. Maybe I'll call you not this coming Sunday because I'll be in North Carolina, but maybe the following Sunday,
Yeah.
And let you know how it went, because I'm going to try and drink some whiskey while I'm there.
Yeah, there you go. Try it. Buy some down there. Well, I'm sure they have plenty of it down south.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, people down south like to drink and watch NASCAR.
And you know what? You can get a free carton of cigarettes every time you go to a NASCAR race.
Really?
God's honest truth.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, you go, and here's what the deal is. You go up to the Winston booth. I don't want to do a commercial for them, but, you know, you used to be them a pack of cigarettes with one cigarette at least in it, and they put a big X on it, a magic marker, and then you stand in line and you get a free carton of cigarettes. Any type of Winstons you want, you know, light, regular, whatever. And
how about Salem's?
No.
That's made by Winston, but they don't advertise.
Right.
Well,
but they're on this 100% tobacco, no additive kick, you know.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, they're all...
Right.
Yeah,
So
it's all natural.
Correct. So they just give away just Winston.
Oh.
Well, so then, you know, I usually take, like, I don't know, 5 packs with me. And so I'd go and take, you know, some cigarettes out of another pack and go to another booth, and they put an X on that pack, and I'd get another.
You end up with 5 cartons.
With 5 or 6 free cartons of cigarettes.
Well, hey, now you've found me reason to go to a NASCAR race.
See you there.
All right, well, Ed, call me when you get back.
All right, Gilly.
All right, take care.
Thanks,
man. All right. Free smokes? So Trevisano's on the anti-smoking kick, and I'm thinking 5 free cartons of cigarettes for going to a NASCAR race? Even if there is no... how much is a carton now? $20-some. Almost $30 sometimes. Now, I have to find out how much it is to get into a NASCAR race. So, if it's $100 a ticket or something like that, plus you got to figure in the cost of beer. You can't go without beer, can you? Todd, you're on the air.
Mr. Gilmour, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Good.
I thought I talked like a cell phone, so I'd sound like you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
hey,
all right.
my wife's a huge NASCAR fan, and
What does she weigh?
no, she's about 130 pounds.
Oh, I see.
5'7".
Oh, I'm a big NASCAR fan, not big.
Correct.
Okay. I thought maybe you said she was a huge NASCAR fan. I thought maybe she was, I don't know, broke the deuce and heading for 3.
No, she's from Kentucky. I just actually called to defend my wife's honor because she's highly intelligent, she's very beautiful, and actually the heart transplant people are from Kentucky, and, you know, generalizations like that, I mean, my God, that's like saying all Browns fans throw beer bottles.
Wait a minute. The heart transplants came from South Africa and Dr. Christian Bernard.
I'm talking about the most recent ones,
Dr. Michael Jarvik.
I'm talking about the most recent ones.
Oh, you mean like...
That were done, the ones that were totally self-contained and implanted completely in the body.
Oh, I got you. Okay, and they come from Kentucky.
That was actually a Jewish hospital in Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay, and what else? What else comes from Kentucky?
What else comes from Kentucky?
Beautiful
horses.
Black lung disease.
Yeah.
Rotten teeth.
Look, I'm from Cleveland, Gilly. I'm just calling to defend my wife's honor. Not everything from Kentucky is a generalization, and they're not all a bunch of hicks.
Is your wife in the car with you?
Well, we're actually at home. I've been on hold for about 45 minutes, but I told her I was going to defend her honor.
Well, definitely honor your honor. That's the best offer I've had all day.
You want to talk to her? I can go get her.
No, that's okay. She'll just yell at me.
Nah, she won't yell at you, Gilly. She actually used to like your show.
You used to like it until today?
Hey, I watch the races because you know something, and I admit I hate to see the crashes because I like to see what happens, and all it does is bring a stop to everything.
And then you have to drink more beer.
Yeah, it's kind of like an instant replay in the NFL.
Now, can you watch a sporting event without drinking beer?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Well, you got one up on me.
I can. I mean, you know, I like my beer, though.
No, there you go. Everybody does, don't they? American or imported?
Depends.
No, that's underpants.
Well, that's true. I like Grolsch is my favorite import, and I like good Bud Light.
Oh, all right. Grolsch is good beer. It's got that pop top, the funny-looking thing with the cap.
Yeah, they used to be ceramic, now they're plastic.
Yeah, I know. But still, you save them and you can put vinegar and oil in them or something.
Absolutely. Gilly, I think you got a great show, and 99 times out of 100, I agree with most of what you say. And I just wanted to sit there and call and defend my wife's honor because not all NASCAR fans are hillbillies, not all Browns fans throw bottles, and not all people... All right, wait a minute. All people from Pittsburgh are stupid. What can I say?
Well, yeah, there you go. Well, I'll tell you what. You've done your part. Now go have sex.
You got that right.
All right. Talk to you. Have a good one. I already do. Stay tuned for these important words, and then more of your phone calls on Cleveland's only news radio station. I really talk about the important topics, don't I? sex and drugs and beer and car crashes. And that sort of thing. Really occupy the time well here, don't I? 50,000 watts of power. I could be talking about dead bodies or something, but I'm talking about NASCAR. And, well, hillbillies. Don't they go together? Well, maybe we should culture the program a bit this evening. I'll give you a quote and see if you can tell me who it's from. Yeah, maybe so. And if that's the way it happens, well, at least I know I was there, neck deep in the madness before the deal went down. And I got so high and wild that I felt like a 2-ton manta ray jumping all the way across the Bay of Bengal. I don't have any prizes for you if you know who said that, but the adulation of your host, and if you've never been adulated, it's a great deal of fun. I suppose everything does seem to center around rednecks, doesn't it? Even my program seems to... Well, I should have Rick Abel on or something. Even my stupid songs, the redneck stuff.
Kaboomche.
All right. Even the songs I sing are hillbilly songs. Well, we would like to thank you folks for kindly checking in and peek through all your luggage just to fly American, the airline that will pay you all its liability when your flight falls from the sky and the hospital you see. Take your shoe bombs off. Stay a while. Y'all blow up now. You hear? So maybe I am a hillbilly.
You're a trip and a half, man.
Well, something like that. Wild card line, you're on the air.
You suck.
Well, no, I do not, sir. I don't suck, spit, swallow, or anything else you can imagine. I'm above that. And that comment, sir, really, below me. Just below me. That comment was beneath me. Sir. George, you're on the air.
Yes, hey, Gilly, I'd have more respect for NASCAR, but the way they treat Jeff Gordon, is very upsetting to the necks down south that the best neck car driver is a northerner and Jeff Gordon. I guess he was from California, born in California, lived there, and then I guess he lives in Indiana. So he's not like a good old boy, and he's one of their best all-time racers, and he doesn't get the recognition because he's not a, good old boy redneck down south. And I don't know if you watched the race today, but he got robbed. That redneck Sterling Marlin, the same guy that bumped Dale Earnhardt Jr., did you see what he did?
Well, he's the same guy that bumped Dale Earnhardt Sr.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he did this. He did the same today with Gordon. They don't want to see Gordon win. He should have won that race today, and I pull for him because I see how what he has to go up against.
So if you're not from the Deep South.
No, Jeff Gordon is not a good old boy. No, and they do not like him, and they do not want to see him win. And if you watch the race today, he got robbed. That redneck Sterling Marlin bumped him, and he tried to pass him on the inside lane when there's no inside lane to pass.
Now, George, what kind of a redneck name is Sterling?
I don't know. I don't know.
Kind of a name for somebody who's like half a fag or something.
But it upsets me because I see that and you can't say nothing either when they interview these drivers. They got to watch what they say. They really can't tell you how they really feel because I guess they're really strict on them. I guess they got to watch what they say or they'll get fined or whatever. But like I said, it just bothers me. This Jeff Gordon. I mean, this guy's one of their all-time. Doesn't even get the recognition. It's not right because he's not a good old boy. He's not a hillbilly from down south. And I'm pulling for Jeff Gordon and keep having scoreboard, Jeff. Okay, bye.
Bye. I guess he had pretty strong feelings, huh? I guess he didn't. What, he feels bad for Jeff?
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, I got a bad feeling about it, too. Rednecks and hillbillies and all of them. What do you want? I guess so you could be a hillbilly in Ohio. And if you tried to drive in NASCAR, they wouldn't have any room for you? I don't know. Michael, you're on the air.
Happy President's Day to you.
Yeah, you too there. I don't think anybody really celebrates to any extent other than just getting the day off of work.
It's just another day for an excuse to drink, really.
Well, sure. I mean, I don't think you need an excuse to drink, do you?
Sometimes. You got to answer to the wife,
Well, that's
President's Day, so back off.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, Michael, what's on your mind there?
People are talking about how you got to be at a race to understand. Well, I've been to one, and it's even more boring than watching it on TV, because at least when you're watching it on TV, you can click the station, you know?
And you can get up and make a sandwich or go to the potty.
But here you got to listen to rednecks making lewd comments and drinking and breathing down your neck, man.
Well, there you go.
Anyway, can I give you a joke about Kentucky? It's very clean.
As long as it's clean.
Okay, what do Kentuckians do in the month of October?
I don't know.
Pumpkin.
Oh, boy. Anyway, it says up here something about Casey Coleman, too.
Mark Schwab's better than him anywhere.
Okay. Well, then we could have Wills and Schwabi in the morning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, tell Stellar I said hi.
Okay. I don't even know who this guy is. Apparently, he's talking because he's heard that bump that we have that has my dog barking. And I said, that's my dog. That's Stella. They got that new bio we had to fill out. Well, I don't know. I put my dog's name in it because somebody said the old bio says, I thought you were married. Then we looked at that and it said something about you live with your girlfriend and a guinea pig and a pet rat. What happened to your dog? What happened to your wife? Well, things changed. The guinea pig kicked the bucket. Okay? Oh, poor thing. It was crazy anyway. It bit. Sunk its teeth right into the ball of my hand. You know where the ball of your hand is? I think that's that part right below your thumb. So good riddance to bad rubbish. That's right where it went to. My wife asked me if I buried it. I said, what, in concrete? We don't have any place to bury anything. I put it in a baggie and put it in the garbage. Biter. And if you bite me, I'll do the same thing to you when you die. At least it'd be better than what they do in Georgia, where they just leave everybody laying around. Like 70 or 80 or 90 people laying around. Them poor souls, put them in holes. They don't even know who they are. Well, I know who I am. I don't know who you are. That's what the big board's for, so I can look up on there. And if you can't call, you can email Gilly, Gilly, at WTAM.com. Now with coverage of what in the world's happening, here's our very own Cliff Bakley.
Continuing coverage on Cleveland's only News Radio, WTAM 1100, a service of Clear Channel Worldwide.
The major figures in the trafficking trial head south for 3 days. Good evening, I'm Cliff Bakley, and this is the 1030 report on News Radio, WTAM 1100. Details coming up. Channel 3, triple Doppler weather. Here's Eileen McShay.
Clear and cold tonight, lows in the mid-teens. Tomorrow's highs near 40.
Currently 22 degrees, the wind chill 13 at your official weather station, News Radio, WTAM 1100. Congressman Trafficant and assistant U.S. attorneys are planning to go to Florida to obtain videotaped testimony from a former Ohio Department of Transportation employee. Attorney and legal analyst Dave Buttress explains how it affects the proceedings.
Well, what this means for the congressman is that one of the government's witnesses is going to come in by videotape, and the rules allow for it. But you always want a witness to come in live so the jury can assess this witness's credibility and look at how he testifies on the witness stand.
Thomas Williams is expected to testify that Trafficant threatened to have him fired if he did not stop posing problems for a Mahoning County paving company. Williams has cancer and undergoes daily radiation treatment. A federal judge has denied an attempt to stop the execution of John W. Byrd Jr. set for Tuesday. Byrd's attorneys had requested a stay of execution earlier today, saying that killing Byrd would violate his constitutional rights because he is innocent. President Bush planning a visit to a severed railroad line that once connected North and South Korea. National Security Advisor Condoleezza Rice, who's traveling with the president, was on ABC's This Week from Tokyo and said that South Korea is acting the right way.
The president has been extremely supportive of President Kim Dae-jung's policy toward North Korea, the Sunshine Policy. We would just like to see North Korea reciprocate.
A bizarre finish to the Daytona 500. The winner, Ward Burton, he won after leader Sterling Marlin was penalized for getting out of his car during a stop in the race to make a repair. Marlin was sent to the back of the pack. I'm Cliff Bakley on Cleveland's only News Radio, WTAM 1100.
Continuing coverage coming up at the top of the hour. Bulletins at 1. News Radio, WTAM 1100.
This Bill Wills. Having to worry about money has spoiled the retirement years of so many seniors. If you're worried about your mom and dad, or if you're a senior yourself, the financial strains can make it very difficult to enjoy the life that you've worked so hard for. In fact, many seniors have even had to sell their homes to relieve the nervous tension. If you happen to be at 62 years of age, or maybe your parents are, then this information can help you find a financial answer to these burdens. importance. The United States government and Signature Mortgage now has a program that will allow you to pay off existing mortgages, home equity loans, and credit cards, so you no longer have the hassles of monthly payments. Proceeds from this program can pay your property taxes, auto repairs, home improvements, and other everyday expenses. This government-insured program is tax-free and does not require income or credit qualification. Many of Signature Mortgage's senior customers have said their retirement years have been dramatically changed by this program. Why don't you call and find out more? The number is 800-241-1996. 800-241-1996. Signature Mortgage is an equal opportunity lender.
Larry King here with some things you may not know about the healthy heart supplement Garlic. I didn't say garlic. I said Garlic. Garlic's a world leader in product potency, and since garlic has been clinically shown to maintain healthy cholesterol levels, for me, that makes Garlic dietary supplement the one to trust. Just one tablet daily. Garlic's unique freeze-dried method traps the power of garlic in a natural odor-free tablet. Help keep your heart healthy with Garlic, as in unique. Garlic, cholesterol's natural enemy.
The WTAM.com caption contest. Log on and place your caption. Qualify to win a dish and a year's worth of service from Dish Network or a set of tires from Conrad's Total Car Care and Tire Center from WTAM.com.
Hey, this is your mouth talking. We are about to get a cold sore, so I want you to get some Herpecin L. L like in lips, to which I am much closer than you and therefore get really bothered by cold sores. Herpecin L is real medicine with a skin protectant that helps aid healing, emollients to keep your lips from painful cracking, plus Herpecin L has SPF 36 to help prevent cold sores from forming. So, read my lips. Stop cold sores with real medicine. Herpecin L.
Use only as directed.
Tonight's temperature is below freezing. Insulate your home today and make no payments until August. Call USA Insulation at 440-602-4107. This opportunity won't last long. Call USA Insulation for a free in-home estimate. By insulating your home, it not only keeps you warm and cozy, it also reduces your utility bills. Insulating your home is the best investment that you could make. It will keep you warm in the winter and cool in the summer. And the best part about USA Insulation's offer is that you don't have to make any payments until August. That's right, August of 2002. Feel your home's walls. Are they cold? Are you tired of your large utility bills? Are you constantly readjusting your thermostat? Call USA Insulation today to take advantage of the no payments until August sale. 440-602-4107. That's 440-602-4107. Stay warm with USA Insulation and make no payments until August.
Friends, Larry King here with important news about a revolutionary advancement in vitamin C, Ester C. Ester C is the future in vitamin C. It's a unique vitamin C, patented and completely non-acidic. I take Ester C every day because it supports my immune system, helps promote the health of my eyes, joints, and cardiovascular system. Do what I do. Take Ester C every day throughout the year. ESTER-C. Don't settle for less. Your body will know the difference.
Ester C. At Vitamin World stores and everywhere vitamins are sold.
America United. America strikes back.
Standoff ended at a Kandahar hospital with 6 Al-Qaeda fighters dead.
Continuing coverage.
We got legitimate patients out of the hospital, and then last night some of our special forces moved in.
Radio, WTAM 1100.
That is my dog, but she can't be trusted anymore. Last time I brought her down here, she dropped anchor on the carpet. My wife had to clean it up with coffee filters. She couldn't find any paper towels, I guess. So let me get this right. In this NASCAR race, Sterling Marling gets out of his car to try and bend back sheet metal. He got penalized. Have you ever been penalized? Sounds painful to me. Was that John Bird Jr. character going to get put to death? They're going to slide the needle in on Tuesday? Does that mean tomorrow night I get to play Johnny Cash's 25 Minutes to Go and count down the execution? Last time we did that here, they're not going to zap him. They're going to slide the needle in. Last time we did that here, someone wrote in the local newspaper that Rick Gilmour made it sound like a circus. Why? Just because I played calliope music in the background? Off with their heads. Chuck, east of the Cuyahoga, you're on the air.
Hey, Gilly, great show you got going on.
Well, thank you, sir.
I got a question for you.
I might have an answer. I might.
There's a big event going on outside of that NASCAR race today. I don't know if you caught it.
Which big event was that? The dead bodies?
No, probably you didn't because the local channel here in Cleveland, WOIO, program director kind of fumbled, maybe.
How's that? Well, that's not the only news station.
Well, it was the station that was carrying the Indiana-Michigan game. Like, who cares about that? And place they could have been playing was the Duke-Maryland game.
And that was the big news event?
Well, I mean, you got a number 1 team playing a number 3 team. And what does WIO play? They play Indiana. I mean, who gives a rat's can about that? But you didn't follow that at all,
No, I didn't watch much TV today.
You were watching that NASCAR?
No, I didn't watch NASCAR. I mean, I'm bored by even watching NASCAR. The only reason I'd go to a race is now I find out, and I don't know how much tickets cost, but now I find out you can get free cartons of smokes.
God bless you. Hey, one thing, too, here.
Yes, sir.
Trafficant walk or what?
What?
Think trafficant's going to walk?
I hope trafficant walks, but that's just me. And I wish we could record in federal court. I'd love to be able to find out, because they said the judge has to stop him all the time because he's fumbling and stumbling because he's not a lawyer, and they claim he's getting himself in trouble or he doesn't know what he's doing. Or isn't that, they said a man, what is that, something about a fool who defends himself, a man who defends himself as a fool for an attorney?
I think you got that right.
Yeah, well, I think he ought to get himself a mouthpiece. I think if he loses this thing, it's his own damn fault.
Yeah, Nate, do me a favor, though. See what you can do over there at WIO.
Ooh, over there? Yeah, well, we don't have any affiliation with WOEO.
But see what they were thinking, because that was a great game, the Duke-Maryland game, at least for the first half.
All right, well, I'll put out some feelers.
And you know what ended up happening, though?
No.
They ended up switching halfway through the game and put on the Duke-Maryland game.
Oh, really? Did they even finish the other game?
I believe they didn't.
Oh, so they dropped the ball, so to speak.
Exactly.
And they realized, oopsie, we're airing something that no one gives a damn about. Yep. And then they up and switched.
Hey, see if you can put in some Allman Brothers for tonight's folks.
Okay. Well, I don't play music normally. It's a talk show.
You had some putty going on.
Well, okay. Well, I'll see what we have in the computer.
I appreciate it. Keep up the good work.
All right. Thank you much. Hi, Tom. You're on the air.
Hey, do me a favor.
What's that?
That guy that just called asked me if I can hit off his pipe. He sounded so boring. Let's get to the business. First off, you get a caller about five back. He's talking about his wife, and he's saying he's skinny. You know what? She's fat. Let her go. And then the next guy, he's saying from Kentucky, you know what? The only thing people go to Kentucky for is to drive through it.
Or fried chicken.
Okay.
Now, there's something good that came from Kentucky.
What is that?
Fried chicken.
Well, okay, you know what? The Colonel wasn't even from there. He had a good recipe. Someone took it from him.
Now, wait a minute. Where was the Colonel from?
You know what? Who really knows? He could have been like a nemesis with Hitler. Who knows where that could be a famous recipe. We don't know where that came from.
Wow.
But getting back to Southern sports, I mean, if we're going to sit here and we're going to talk NASCAR, you know what? The only reason they've got NASCAR, they're learning to drive fast cars, and that's just because when I lived in Nashville, and I'm going to get to the point, I'm from the north, and I moved down to Nashville, these people were utterly rude to me, and they sat there. The first conversation I even had with these people was about the Civil War.
Now, wait a minute. What about...
And it was just amazing.
What about Southern hospitality, Tom?
What's that?
What about Southern hospitality we keep hearing about?
You know what? It's iffy at best. And you know what? The first day, and I'll tell you the first day I was down there, I got into an argument, and it was the funniest thing because they sit there and try to tell me how they should have won the Civil War, when in fact I gave this guy a little lesson in history, telling him about how Nashville was actually held by the Union Army. So, in fact, he wasn't even part of the southern part of the war.
But see, and in fact, I've got some new state mottos, and a few of them are about southern states, obviously, since about half the states. Well, I'll get them right on for you after the phone call. Anything else? You're telling me they were rude. They got in an argument about the Civil War. They didn't even know what they were talking about. Did they have all their own teeth?
Well, you know, they have a couple teeth.
You know where NASCAR came from, don't you? The non-athletic sport centered around rednecks came from moonshining.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they had to drive. You ever seen Thunder Road? down on Thunder Road. Robert Mitchum and a bunch of rednecks driving around trying to sneak booze past the cops. That's where it came from.
You know,
then they made it a sanctioned sport.
I will give them one thing.
What?
Those cars are fast, but you know what? That's it. You can do that, and most of them do it on the highway anyways.
Well, there you go. A bunch of hillbillies.
Exactly.
All right, thanks, Tom. But you got to look at I looked on the wire service. Number 19, Ward Burton won in a Dodge. You know what he won? $1.38 million. Now, who's got the biggest redneck name in NASCAR? Let's go through the list. Ward, you vote. 578-1100 if you're east of the Cuyahoga, whereas if you're west of the Cuyahoga, that's 578-1100. Ward, Elliott, Jeffrey, Kurt, Michael, Mark, Ryan, Sterling, Jeff, Johnny, Bill, Jeff, Robbie, Dale. I think Dale sounds more hillbilly than the rest of them so far. How about Jimmy? Maybe not. Brett doesn't sound very hillbilly. But that's Brett Bodine or Bodine or however the hell you say it. And someone was on the line was going to tell me how much tickets cost. They went and hung up. How about this Ricky, Rusty, another Jeff, Terry Labonte, Terry, Mike, Robert, Mike, Shauna. What's this Shauna? Is there a woman in NASCAR? What was there, one black guy for 2 seconds one October? Dave, Ken. Now, if they had a Kenny, now we do have a Kenny. We got a Stacy. Stacy sounds like some kind of fruitified name there, doesn't it? For a man. Jerry, Dale, Kenny, Todd, Bobby, Matt, Bobby, Casey. Casey reminds me of Casey Coleman. He's got the day off tomorrow. Is he going to Boston to sign a deal to become the voice of the Patriots? You'll have to find out tomorrow. You have to listen to Wills and Coleman in the morning, your information epicenter, weekdays 5 until 9 here on The Big One, News Radio, WTAM 1100. Kevin, John, another Ricky, Jeremy, Joe, Kyle, Dave, and Tony. I'm not going to give you a last name. Sterling doesn't sound like much of a hillbilly name to me. But the Johnny and the Ricky, Stacy, I want to know who Shauna Robinson is. Driving a Dodge, came in number 24, and still got $142,559. Well, maybe I'm the big dum-dum. Maybe I'm the idiot. Maybe I should be driving for NASCAR instead of flapping my gums for a living. I don't know. Hillbilly names galore. Well, I promised you some state mottos. And some of them pertain to southern states. Check it out. So here they are, new state mottos. Alabama. Hell yes, we have electricity. Alaska. 11,623 Eskimos. Can't be wrong. Arizona. But it's a dry heat. Arkansas. Literacy ain't everything. New state mottos. California. By 30, our women have more plastic than your Honda. Colorado. If you don't ski, don't bother. Connecticut. We're like Massachusetts, only the Kennedys don't own it yet. Delaware. We really do like the chemicals in our water. Florida. Ask us about our grandkids. New state mottos. Georgia. We put the fun in fundamentalist extremism. Hawaii. Hakatika Shamiriki Toru. Death to mainland scum, but leave your money. Idaho. More than just potatoes. Well, okay, we're not. But the potatoes sure are real good. Illinois. Please do not pronounce the S. New state mottos. Indiana. 2 billion years tidal wave free. Iowa. We do amazing things with corn. Kansas. First of the rectangle states. Kentucky, 5 million people, 15 last names. New state mottos. Louisiana, we're not all drunken Cajun wackos, but that's our tourism campaign. Maine, we're really cold, but we've got cheap lobster. Maryland, if you can dream it, we can tax it. New state mottos. Massachusetts, our taxes are lower than Sweden's for most tax brackets. Michigan, first line of defense from the Canadians. Minnesota, new state motto. 10,000 lakes and 10 billion mosquitoes. Mississippi, come and feel better about your own state. Missouri, your federal flood relief tax dollars at work. Montana, land of the big sky, the Unabomber, right-wing crazies, and very little else. New state mottos. Nebraska, ask us about our state motto contest. Nevada, woo, hookers and poker. New Hampshire, go away and leave us alone. New Jersey, you want your motto? I got your motto right here. New state mottos. New Mexico, lizards make excellent pets. New York, you have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. North Carolina, tobacco is a vegetable. North Dakota, we really are one of the 50 states. New state mottos. Ohio, at least we're not Michigan. Oklahoma, like the play, but no singing. Oregon, spotted owl, it's what's for dinner. Pennsylvania, cook with coal. Rhode Island, we're not really an island. South Carolina, remember the Civil War? Well, we didn't actually surrender. South Dakota, their new state motto, closer than North Dakota. This one, it's a visual. Tennessee, the education state, spelled E-D-U-C-A-S-H-U-N. Texas, si hablo English. Yes, I speak English. Utah's new state motto, our Jesus is better than your Jesus. Vermont, yep. Virginia, who says government stiffs and slackjaw yokels don't mix? Washington State's new state motto, proposed, of course, here, right? Help! We're being overrun by nerds and slackers. Washington, D.C., wanna be mayor? West Virginia, one big happy family. Really? Wisconsin, come and cut the cheese. And finally, proposed new state motto is Wyoming, where men are men and the sheep are scared. Really, really scared. Somebody emailed me, Gilly at WTAM.com. Put my vote in for Rusty as the biggest hillbilly name. Here's another one. Hey, man, just wanted to clue you in on your presence on the best Napster clone, Audio Galaxy. If you search for WTAM, you'll see your pot show listed as a shared file. The hell's that? Are we sharing files? Do you know why Kentucky couples like to have sex doggy style? That way they can both watch NASCAR. Wee-hoo! Wee doggies! Steph says there's someone on the line that I may not be able to understand. You mean if I go to them, it'll be a big train wreck? Or a big car crash? Your triple Doppler forecast from TV3 meteorologist Eileen McShay. Tonight, maybe I should do the weather twice because I missed it last half hour. Tonight, clearing and cold. Low in the mid-teens. Tomorrow, sunny, high near 40. Let's look ahead, shall we? Sure. Monday night, mid-20s. Tuesday, low 50s. Hey, that's not bad. Currently 22 degrees in Cleveland with the wind chill. It feels like 13. That's 22 degrees in Cleveland. Wade, you're on the big one.
Rick.
Yeah.
All right, man, can you give us a break down here in Georgia?
Pardon me?
I said, can you give us a break down here in the South?
Well, where are you from?
I'm from Georgia.
Which part of Georgia, northern or southern?
Northern.
Now, I heard in northern Georgia, people have refrigerators on their front porches.
Well, a little bit farther north of where I live, it gets pretty damn hillbilly. I'll give you that much.
Okay, and you got Georgia red clay where you're at?
Oh, I got all over the state, partner.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm not being down on any particular southern state. I said I like North Carolina.
Well, I just hoping you'd give us a break here, partner. I mean, you've been railing on us all day, you know.
You sound like that guy from King of the Hill.
Yeah, I guess, what's the guy that talks real fast? And then my buddy, he's the other guy wears the orange hat. Two of us get together. My wife, she can't stand it. She said we sound just like a TV show.
Yeah, it sounds just like King of the Hill. You're that guy that drives the race car that they put into the quarry.
That's right. That's the man.
Yeah.
If I get to talking too fast, and that's what people say. You're like a boom man, man.
What he said. All right, well, I'll see what
Hey.
Yeah, what?
On that cigarettes, you don't have to buy a ticket. You just go in there. They got the vendor tents out there at the race, and you just go in there with your pack of cigarettes before the race starts, and you can get them. All that stuff's on the outside of the track, so you don't have to actually go to the race. You want your free cart in there, partner.
Okay.
But,
now, you know what? You need an interpreter.
Huh?
What? You need an interpreter.
I need to slow down for you.
No, what I'm saying is, can everybody understand you down south?
Nah, most people give me a second look. Now, my biggest problem is I talk faster, too fast.
No, I don't think you're talking too fast, but you have a heavy accent.
Well, that's one of the, I guess the effects of driving trucks as long as I've been driving. You just draw so much on the CB, it just fell over into my regular talk.
That's it. You sound like them truck drivers on the CB that no one can understand. You have a language all your own. It's like secret stuff, and if you're not a truck driver, you're not in the secret club.
Yeah, I used to train guys, and I'd be talking on the radio, and they'd be sitting over there beside me. They never driven before, and they'd be looking at me like, you've been there for 30 minutes having a conversation. They'd finally look at you and say, what the hell are y'all talking about? They hadn't gotten the first word, but...
10-4. And I understand that you're not supposed to say good buddy.
Well, no, unless you're working the rest here, I guess.
What he said. All right, well, Wade, I appreciate the phone call.
All right, bye. Enjoy your show, huh?
All right, talk to you later.
Bye, partner.
All right, what did he say? I'm not completely sure if I got all of it. Good buddy? No, you don't say good buddy. Or you end up at one of them truck stops with the funny holes cut in the stall wall. What are those for? Oh, we don't want to know. I'm Mike the Repo Man. You're on the air.
Hey, Rick. How are you?
I'm okay now. I'm looking here. It says Dick Trickle was a NASCAR driver. Well, he was, but not anymore.
Yeah, now there's a different kind of name, huh?
Yeah, I'll say. Sounds like a social disease.
Well, you were talking about Sterling Marlin. His father was a NASCAR racer, and his father's name was Cuckoo.
Cuckoo Marlin?
Cuckoo Marlin. That was his dad. So,
now, Cuckoo don't sound like, well, it's kind of nutty, but it don't sound like a southern name, does it?
No, not exactly. But I remember, I've always been a NASCAR fan ever since I was a little kid. And
could you understand that last caller?
I picked out some words. I think I got the gist of most of his conversation.
Yeah, I think he said he drives a truck, talks on the CB. Thanks, Rick. Good show. Quit picking on us Southerners. You've been doing it all night.
Well, I can't help it. I was born in West Virginia, so they moved me up here when I was 3 months old, but I'm still a carrier, and I can't help it. But,
well, I've got relatives in West by God myself. So, it's okay if black people make fun of other black people. Mm-hmm. So it's okay if I got hillbilly in me if I make fun of hillbillies.
That's right. I would go down there to visit my cousins, and they would get totally snockered and drive around in their Blazers and Broncos and try to wreck themselves.
Yeah, well, I've put a car or two in a ditch myself.
Yeah. So I got a question for you though. What kind of spectator sports do you enjoy?
An occasional baseball game, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing they serve beer there.
Now, to a lot of people, baseball is like watching paint dry.
Well, I know to a lot of people that's the way it is. It's a game of inches. And you never know what's going to happen, whereas at a NASCAR race, you know what's going to happen unless somebody gets in a wreck. They're going to go 250 times.
It's the fastest growing sport in the country right now. I mean, they had 170,000 people at the race today, which is twice what goes to any football game.
Well, we got all the sports up here we need.
Well, yeah, of course.
And down south, I don't know what the attraction is myself, but then what do I know?
Yeah, well, motorsports all around the world, from Formula One to Indy racing, are very popular. And
I like drag racing.
Drag racing is fine. I used to do it actually, and
so did I.
You spend all that money and time thrashing around to get if you were lucky, you got a 10 or 11 second run, and it was over with. And I kind of enjoy going out to. You talk about hillbillies. You got to go out to one of the local county speedways and watch the round and round guys.
I've done that.
Yeah, it's kind of a nice night. It's kind of a good evening. There's not a whole lot of There certainly isn't a whole lot of gang activity going on at those events, and you could take a family there and just watch the race a little bit, and then see some guys out there thrashing around in these old beater Camaros that they've ripped to shreds.
You know what I liked was that Cloverleaf. They used to have whatever night it was, Wednesday night or something. It was bring your own car, not a race car. It was street stock or whatever the hell they called it. And the people are out there, and these idiots are going around in circles in their own car. Then they're racing somebody else they don't even know, and they're bashing into each other.
Sure.
Now, that's your car you got to drive to work, or your car you got to take your wife to the grocery store in. People are morons.
I have a story to tell you. A friend of my brother's borrowed his father's car and went there, and got it wiped out pretty bad. So he went up on the freeway and parked the car up on 70, or it would have been 71 back then, and called his dad and said some guy cut him off, and he ran into the guardrail.
Well, it would have been 71 now too, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I was trying to think if it was 480 at that point, but they hadn't even made 480 by then.
Yeah, I know. 480 was nothing but a hole in the ground for years.
Yeah.
That's a whole other topic, but I'm getting close to the news.
All right, well, thanks.
All right, I appreciate it. Now, someone called, they hung up too, and they said Wade was an embarrassment to truckers. Wow, it's going to the same thing. I understood that was it. Not all of them. I was some of it. 10-4. I understood most of it. I got the gist. Just poking fun, Wade. I don't want to sound like Glenn Beck now, do I? I heard him once on the weekend making fun of some guy, and the guy dropped an S-bomb. Called him a name. And I did the week after, and said, you will not hear this. And played the Glenn Beck call. When Glenn Beck was just on in Florida on WFLA or whatever station he's on down there. Now he's on all over the place. You can hear him on the big one, weekday mornings at 9. Anyway, that same guy called me and said, you're not going to cut me off because of my accent? And I said, no, and the guy was brilliant. The guy was the smartest caller of the day. Should have got an A in the middle of his forehead. So much for prejudging people. More of your phone calls after coverage of what in the world's happening, which starts right now.
Cleveland's only news radio. Your official weather station. The home of the Indians, Cavaliers, and Browns fans. This is the big one. Now, continuing coverage on News Radio, WTAM 1100, Cleveland.
There's an investigation in Lorain County to determine if a woman has died from meningitis. Good evening. I'm Cliff Bakley, and this is the 11 o'clock report on News Radio, WTAM 1100. Details coming up. Channel 3 triple Doppler weather. Here's Eileen McShay.
Look for clearing and cold conditions tonight. Lows in the mid-teens. Tomorrow's highs near 40.
Currently 22 degrees. The wind chill 16 at your official weather station, News Radio, WTAM 1100. Her symptoms bear a resemblance to meningitis, so doctors in Lorain County are looking to determine if her death was caused by the bacteria. Levon Putney picks up our team coverage.
24-year-old Tamika White of Lorain died at Community Health Partners Hospital Saturday afternoon. A suspected meningitis case, but Lorain County Coroner's Office now testing to determine if White passed because of the infection. No definite cause rule at this point. The hospital released a statement advising the community to not be alarmed. Only those exposed through close or prolonged contact within the past 24 to 48 hours are encouraged to visit the nearest hospital for a preventive antibiotic. In the newsroom, Levon Putney, News Radio, WTAM 1100.
John Bird Jr.'s execution is still set for Tuesday. A federal judge tonight has denied an appeal to halt his day with death. Bird's attorneys asked for the stay on grounds that killing Bird violates his constitutional rights because he's innocent. Federal Judge James Graham ruled that Bird's exhausted one round of appeals and should have first requested permission to start a second round.
Thanks for watching Cleveland Live Music. If you like staring into the sun with me, hit the subscribe button. There's Patreon and GoFundMe information in the video descriptions. Thanks for the support, and thanks for making the channel grow.